Okay, crawlers. Today Okay, crawlers, we're in Canary Wharf and we're going to follow the route from my book, Historic Pub Crawls, London Volume 1, from Canary Wharf down to Greenwich. Now, I'm looking over Sabina's shoulder already because in Canary Wharf, it's private land, so they never let you film in here. So at some point, someone's going to tell us to kind of skedaddle and move. But we'll just come closer and I'll show you the route that we're going to do. As most people are expecting us, we're here right now, and we're going to make our way all the way underneath the Thames, down the tunnel and around Greenwich. We've done this route a few times. There's some amazing pubs on it. Some of them you might have seen in videos already. I'm looking forward to revisiting some of them and sharing more with you. Security's definitely coming now. Okay, we're going to go to the gun. So we're only going to be here for a couple of minutes because the first pub we're going to has got one of the best views from a pub garden in London, and I'm hoping we're going to get lucky and see one of the super yachts come in.
Yeah, so it's going to be like me who's...
That's all right, they don't know they're going to be famous soon. And then we're going to wind our way down through the Isle of Dogs, and then we're going to go under the tunnel and get ourselves all the way around Greenwich. The sun should be shining a little bit today. It's going to be absolutely perfect for me, sweltering in a hoodie. So when you're going to be sweating and walking, it's important to stay hydrated. And we've got 12 pubs and 12 pints with my name on it. Let's go.
This Riverside pub is a smuggler's haven.
It's the Gun. It's pub number 1 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get a beer.
But first we've got to get there. And through the maze of Canary Wharf, under the towering skyscrapers, this old pub is an iconic survivor in an area devastated by fire and the bombs of World War II. This Grade 2 listed building was meticulously restored. In 2001, I ducked my head and went to explore one of the private dining rooms, which is rumoured to be where Lord Horatio Nelson used to meet his lover, Lady Emma Hamilton. But back to the bar. I grabbed myself a pint of HSB before heading out to the garden to take in one of the most breathtaking riverside views you can find in London. Now, we didn't see any super yachts turning up today, so it was back into the pub where I got a sneak peek at this tiny cubbyhole, which was used by runners to break up the clandestine meetings if the authorities arrived. And it was popular with smugglers, as not only did I get to check out this cramped cellar, we got a sneak peek the hidden tunnel which leads to the water's edge. Add this to your list of pubs not to miss.
We are just on the edges of Canary Wharf, and this bridge is often seen on Instagram because you will see all of those big kind of Russian oligarch ships that come into Greenwich and Canary Wharf come into here or turn around. It's a pretty spectacular sight, but it's really low tide at the moment, which is perfect because it means that we're probably not going to get our feet wet when we go to Trafalgar Tavern. But we're going to keep heading down the Isle of Dogs now. We're going to follow the route that you can find in my book, Historic Pub Crawls Through London, Volume 1. And it's a perfect day for Greenwich. It's gorgeous, so let's go. Okay, so this is the George. It's pub number 2. It's the only pub out of the 12 pubs today that isn't expecting us, either because they haven't been answering their emails or checked their Instagram. I think it might be a Stonegate pub. Now, these guys are often reluctant to let me film, or they want to charge me for the privilege of doing it. So we're going to go in, we'll have a word with the bar staff. Normally people are really cool. I hope that the next thing you see is going to be a video of this pub. If not, we'll be carrying on walking down as we get further to Greenwich.
What links this Isle of Dogs pub to London's most notorious football club?
It's the George. It's pub number 2 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get a beer.
This proud corner pub has been licensed from 1864, although the current building was constructed as late as the 1930s and has 3 distinct bar areas, which of course gave me the chance to maintain my 100% record of hitting 180s in London pubs. But back to the bar, and I grabbed myself a pint of London Pride before heading out through the conservatory where I could enjoy my pint in the sunshine. And I've got lots of happy memories of this huge garden on previous pub crawls. Back inside the pub, be sure to look up to the ceiling in the snug that is Ma Baker's Bar, which would have been a small shop that was run out of the central area. Now, alongside the decor and memorabilia of all the old dock times, it was also the founding location of the Corinthians Masonic Lodge behind this door in 1874. But when the sun shines like this, there's only one place to be, and it's back out to that beer garden to catch some rays. Next time you're near, stop here for a beer.
Okay, so we're in this gorgeous bit of green space which is overlooked by the shadows of the buildings of Canary Wharf, and this is Mudchute Park, which is probably a good time for us to just stop and just explain who I am and why we're making this video. Now, it was probably about 20 years ago in the mid-noughties when I thought it would be a lot of fun to take my friends out on a pub crawl through London and check out 3 or 4 different pubs and see some of the landmarks. And over the years, that became 16 pub crawls, which we called the annual historic pub crawl through London. In the summer of 2023, I was actually planning this very route that we're on today and realised it's an awful lot of work to get together 12 different pubs and prepare a map and a route and write a booklet and get everyone from my friends and my family and work colleagues all together to explore more of these amazing pubs across the city. And so I went back over the archives and managed to find 12 of the old routes, which is why my first book, Historic Pub Crawls Through London, has got an unusually numbered 13 routes in it. It's not by design. But it's amazing to now come back, revisit these routes and share them all on social media so that you can discover some of these amazing pubs, maybe even buy the book and do some of these routes yourself. Who knows? Maybe you might even spot me in one of the pubs one day. I'd love to have a beer with you. Right, next pub, let's go.
It's a 2-for-1 special in these London pubs. First we had to get there, and just minutes from Canary Wharf, Mudchute Park feels like a slice of the country.
It's the Lord Nelson. It's pub number 3 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get a beer.
Well, the problem with wearing a hoodie in all of my videos is that days like this make it easy to overheat. But not all heroes wear capes, and this corner pub gets its name from the famous Admiral Horatio Nelson, who was well known for his unusual tactics and inspirational leadership that sees him considered as one of the greatest naval commanders of all time. In fact, he was nearly as good on the high seas as I am at darts, as I maintained my perfect record. But back to the bar. And they kindly poured me a Foster's before I snuck to the back to read my book in this private garden in peace. Now, as lovely as this pub is, there's not lots to tell you about it. So in the effort to pad out the video, I popped over the road to the old Millwall fire station, which has been converted to a restaurant and small bar, kitted out, as you can imagine, with fire brigade memorabilia. And they were kind enough to pour me a Peroni, but we can't be stopping when we've got to crawl.
Yep.
Okay, brilliant. So the more observant of you will have noticed that even though we filmed that pub, we also popped into this old fire station as well, but they didn't have a pole to show us. And our next pub, if we have a look, Sabina, is just up here. So let's go.
This old Riverside pub is a smuggler's haven.
It's the Ferry House. It's pub number 4 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get a beer.
Now, there's been a ferry to Greenwich from the site of this pub since the 1300s, and it's likely that there's been a building or a shelter that's been serving refreshments to waiting passengers from very early on. And where there's a bar, there's a beer. And I grabbed a pint of the pale ale from the nearby Brockley Brewery before exploring this pub, which is the oldest on the Isle of Dogs, having stood on this site since 1722. And you might not have noticed the oddity of the stairs at the front of the bar, which lead to nowhere. But I found my way up to have an explore and check out their function room and these odd little toilets. But the real interesting part was down into the cellars, which have been used as holding pens by the local authorities for vagrants, smugglers, and criminals. And don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, because it's rumoured that these catacombs might just contain an unfriendly spirit. But we can't be stopping when we've got to crawl.
Well, we're 4 pubs in, and we're now at the very south of the Isle of Dogs, and we are going to cross this gorgeous looking river. Of course, we're not going to swim it because it's full of sewage, and there's no bridge in sight. So if you look over there, just by the Cutty Sark, we've got this kind of glass dome. We have one of those behind Sabina right now, and each one is the end of a tunnel, and we're going to walk underneath the Thames, and then we're going to head over to one of my favourite pubs in the whole world, the gorgeous Trafalgar Tavern that you can just see on the edge there. This is a bit new, no idea how this sound's going to come out, but here we are walking underneath the Thames. What a little hidden gem this is. It stinks, by the way. It's like, it just stinks of wet, doesn't it? Like, it's just like damp, wet. Like, put it this way, if you've ever rented a flat in London, this is a kind of damp, mildew, black mold smell that your landlord has continually told you doesn't actually exist, whilst also charging you £2,000 a month. Well, yeah, exactly, like it's nonsense. But it's all right, this is only like a couple of minutes walk, and then we'll be out the other side, and we'll be on to the next pub. Okay, so we're 4 pubs in, so I thought it would be worth just covering a little bit of the Cutty Sark now before we loop back here and come back in 8 pints' time. Now, the Cutty Sark was one of the last tea clippers ever to be built. It's one of the fastest. I'm going to test your knowledge now, Sabina. I know that this has definitely burnt down once. Has it? I think it might have burnt down 2 or 3 times.
I'm thinking just once.
Just once? I think it's more than once. I think it's burned down a few times, so I don't know how much of this actually still exists as the original. But it's basically, if you come a little bit closer, it's almost completely in the beer garden of the Gipsy Moth, which is another famous name of a ship, which is actually pub number 12. So even though we are right at the end of our pub crawl, we're actually going to go past the Naval Museum over here, under the watchful gaze of this. Can we go pan round here, have a look at this glorious skyline of Canary Wharf. The tide is out, so it'll be fairly easy, and we're going to go to one of my favourite pubs. We're not going to actually film that pub today. I filmed it with my good friend Kate Ovens a couple of months ago, so that video is what you're going to see next. But we're definitely going to go in, get ourselves a pint now in one of my favourite pubs in all of the world. It doesn't matter how many times I visit here, this place is gorgeous. Just look at this. You ever seen a pub like this, Sabina?
No, I haven't. And then
Yes, amazing. Let's go inside. Inside is even better.
I was
This Riverside pub is London's most spectacular. So first we've got to get there. But be quick, because the tide can cover this path. Yes, that really is a person traversing the fence. We've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to. And our special guest is waiting at one of the best.
The Trafalgar Tavern is pub number 5 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. And I brought Kate with me to check out the food.
This truly is one of the most amazing pubs to come to when the sun's shining. An original wooden figurehead sits proudly at the front of the bar to welcome you, and it would have been used as part of a ship's bow during England's naval supremacy, and the figures continue throughout the ground floor. I went for this Illumination English Pale Ale. Lager fan Kate went for the house's own. It was constructed in 1837, and throughout Victoria's reign, it was a regular haunt of Charles Dickens. In fact, he chose the tavern as the setting for his wedding breakfast in Our Mutual Friend. And you can see why, because venturing up these stairs is this breathtaking area to host weddings. We got the best seat in the house by the window to explore their delightful menu. Amongst this remarkable decor, we could film here for hours and never come close to showing you just how amazing this pub is. But you'll need to get here early or you'll never get a seat.
We've no time for that, we've got pubs to go to. Right, and let me think. What other catchphrase can I use? Because that's kind of the main one. Add this to your list of pubs not to miss. That's why, as an author, you always have to carry a pen that's real ink. But I suppose the stamp is a little bit excessive. I don't always carry that with me. But there you go, for your dad. I hope he enjoys it. It's amazing. There you go. One of my favourite pubs, a great video. And we're going to go to our next pub, which is it's next door, it's adjacent to this, so a load of people miss it. Take a look on the intro, because we're going to walk down the side of the Trafalgar Tavern. You can tell I had a pint in there, can't you? And we're going to get to the yacht, which could be amazing. So we're going to roll that video. Let's take it to the chorus.
Like a bastard stepchild, this pub's easy to overlook.
It's the Yacht. It's pub number 6 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. And look at this for an entry.
Now, this is genuinely easy to miss, given its more famous neighbour is one of the busiest and most iconic pubs, not just in Greenwich, but in all of London. However, if you make it past the Trafalgar Tavern down this alleyway, you'll come to this pub where there's usually plenty of seating and a riverside view to boot. And of course, I had to venture downstairs into the cellars, which are notorious for flooding. And even us two shorties found it hard to squeeze our way around them. But back to the bar, and as a Green King pub, I grabbed myself a pint of Level Head before checking out more of this wonderful pub. Remember, it's not always this quiet, but we're here to show you the places, not the people. Add this to your list of pubs not to miss.
Well, I've seen plenty of bridges across the planet where morons have put little padlocks on, which are just pointless because all of their relationships have ended since. It's just a waste of time. And everyone just comes along anyway with bolt cutters and just has to remove them. But this is pretty cute. Please tie a ribbon in the railings as a prayer for peace. I can tell you this now. I imagine that the ribbons were here, and we're in pretty troubled times at the moment. And thankfully, they've all been used up, and hopefully some of these prayers for peace will make a difference, because people are being morons at the moment, and let's just be kind to each other, for fuck's sake. And I just want this to be proof when I talk about pubs being a hub of a community. It's not just old dudes having a drink talking about their problems. All these lovely ladies with their children are here, which is way better than rhyme time or tummy time or baby yoga or any of that other stuff we do with little kids. It's fantastic. There you go.
This is the best you can find in a South London pub.
It's the Plume of Feathers. It's pub number 7 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get a beer.
With parts dating from 1691, this cosy pub is the oldest in Greenwich. And despite being minutes from the famous Park and National Maritime Museum, it has a cosy country pub feel. Now, it would have been situated on the busy road into London, where coaches and carts would pass through the nearby gatehouse and often stop here, either for refreshments, a layover for the night, or to rest up their livestock such as cows and sheep. Its name comes from the heraldic badge of the Prince of Wales, although the 3 ostrich feathers can be traced as far back to Edward, who was known as the Black Prince. Now, Greenwich's Meridian Line was adopted in 1884 as the marker for international time and date, with the line running through this pub. To the rear is a cosy garden that captures the sun. But back to the bar, and I went for something local from Brockley Brewery before there was just time to have a quick look in the cellars and squeeze past the aptly named Spirit Room in hunt of a ghost before heading back out past the park and along the footpath past the sculptures and the statues. Next time you're near, stop here for a beer.
We've just, so we're 7 pubs in, and we are in beautiful Greenwich. And if you have ever seen like the -1, +1 or whatever, anything to do with time, this is literally where time starts, apparently. The good old conquering British said Greenwich Mean Time is the official time that the rest of the world needs to work around. And it all starts all the way up there, which was actually a key observatory and one of the most crucial locations in the modern world for astronomy, according to the British, which is fantastic. Okay, well done for making it this far. Following me on my route from Canary Wharf to Greenwich to explore the 12 pubs on the route that you can find in my book, Historic Pub Crawls Through London, which is available on Amazon and maybe, if you're lucky, all good bookshops. Anyway, add over. The more observant amongst you might well notice that this scaled down model of Nelson's famous HMS Victory, which you can see if you go to Portsmouth, was actually, it actually spent some time on the 4th plinth in Trafalgar Square before it was moved here. I think it's kind of cute. But we've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to. Filmed this before, so I'm going to roll the video in a minute, but we are going to pop in because I think that the prime seating spot that we couldn't film last time is available. So I'm going to see if we can get a pint, we're going to sit in that and share that with you. Let's go.
Why is this movie location so significant to the LGBT community?
The Greenwich Tavern. It's pub number 8 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and check it out.
This old corner pub overlooks St Mary's Gate at the edge of Greenwich Park. It's constructed on the site of a former prison that was used to confine Protestant prisoners in the mid-16th century during the reign of Bloody Mary I. The current building dates to around the mid-19th century due to its appearance in a significant scene in the 1996 film Beautiful Thing, set in and around the area. It was announced as the 3rd London location to be marked by a rainbow plaque. If the weather's bad, either the covered beer garden or the large illuminating windows are a perfect place to hide. And if it's sunny, it's a great spot from which to explore the area. After grabbing myself a beer, I had time for a quick chit-chat with the locals before Joyce and I headed back up to the river and the famous Cutty Sark in the distance.
Oh, look at that. Right, come on, keep it on me. We're going to sit in this really like special seat. One of the best seats in Greenwich. Fine. This is when you do it all on the fly. I'm going to sit here like this. Look at this.
You're a movie star.
Am I a movie star? No, I don't.
Not yet. You need to get your autograph.
Oh, you'd be sorely disappointed if you did.
Oh.
I think they've turned this into a bar now, but this was a scene. Right, I need to go and sign autographs to these ladies now.
We didn't think he'd make this journey. You'll know why when you see it.
It's the King's Arms. It's pub number 9 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get ourselves a pint.
This pub at the heart of Greenwich has been open since 1891 and was affectionately known as the Bunker between 1930 to 1970. Now, although the reason is unclear, let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story, because one theory states that it was used as an air raid shelter, whilst the other, more boring theory attributes it to the coal heavers who would prop up their shovels outside when they bunked off for the day. But back to the bar. I went for a pint of their own ale before 9 pubs in. Today's assistant, Sabina, grabbed a cider before we headed out back to this spacious garden that on a better day would have been a fantastic sun trap. And we got a chance to bump into Rafael from Hay South East London. But I gotta tell you about the barman, because we weren't ready to film and we missed his impressive skills before he poured that pint, only for him to get the yips second time round, and chasing perfection on the 3rd attempt, disaster struck. Next time you're near, stop here for a beer.
Okay, now I know that eating is cheating on a pub crawl, but if you're more sensible and you do want to have a little bit of food to eat, obviously we're right here in Greenwich Market. You're Rafael, we're gonna do the whole like. He'll tell us who he is in a bit. Honestly, he's a super guy. We'll do some formal stuff in a minute. But for now, why here? Like, what's cool about this place?
Man, everything. That is food from every part of the world. I love everything here. The vibe, and there are many startups that they do like amazing food. There is a burger place as well that I love, and there is an Ethiopian that does some vegan
What's the
food as
best?
well.
The burger's place the best?
The burger is amazing. I think we should try it. Hopefully they are here today because sometimes they're kind of pop-ups. They come some days and other days they don't. But I think they are here today, and if they are, we're gonna try a good burger.
Oh, okay, right. So trust the Brazilian to pick like the biggest piece of meat that's going. I think eating's cheating. We're gonna go in now to Admiral Hardy. In fact, follow us all the way through. We're gonna come and have a pint. Keep filming. Grab your bag. Let's go. I think we've got 2 pints waiting on the bar. So we're gonna have a pint. And we'll teach this Brazilian the fact that we don't eat and we just drink instead to fill our stomachs. Right, let's go. Here we go. I reckon they're just here. Oh, they're coming through. Right. We're getting 2 fresh pints straight away. The Admiral Hardy video has already been filmed with my good friend Kate Ovens, and that's going to be coming up after we get a chance to have these pints and say cheers. So make sure you check out that.
Do you know the famous final words that were whispered to this man?
The Admiral Hardy, it's pub number 10 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's thank all these drivers for stopping for us and go in and get a pint.
This gorgeous Grade 2 listed building is a wonderful example of the old-style Charrington pub format. Beautiful big windows bring light to the pub with absolutely loads of seating split across several levels. Upstairs, there's a surprisingly spacious dining room which can be hired out for events or weddings. It actually sits in the far northeastern corner of the busy Greenwich Market. So if you fancy going round the back, the option's available to you. Where there's a bar, there's a beer. We went for some pints from Battersea Brewery. I enjoyed a session IPA, whilst Kate went for the lager. Cheers. It's named after the Vice Admiral who served under Lord Nelson at the Battle of Trafalgar. It was here on the decks of the HMS Victory where Nelson was shot, and his dying last words of "Kiss me, Hardy" still spark debate to this day, with some believing he used the word kisme, meaning fate. But we've no time for that, so a quick look at the book, and it was on to the next one.
Thank you so much.
The man thinks we're having a burger. It's not happening. We're having a pint instead.
Yeah,
Cheers.
smells amazing.
Oh, you can stop filming now. We'll drink these pints. A good pub crawl is about the journey. And this journey is a very quick one because we just left there at the Admiral Hardy, and the next pub we're going to, see these beautiful flowers on the side? It's the Spanish Galleon, and they are looking forward to seeing us.
Join my photo shoot with this famous Brazilian foodie.
The Spanish Galleon. It's pub number 11 on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get a beer.
Now, it's not a surprise, given its location next to the Cutty Sark and the Royal Naval College, that this Victorian pub has a maritime theme throughout. It was built in 1834 and gets its name from the large vessels the Spanish Empire's naval fleet, which operated throughout the 16th to 18th centuries. Now, there's a lot going on at this pub, and although it looked a bit of a mess, we got a sneak peek of this closed-off room, which will be fully refurbed in no time. Where there's a bar, there's a beer. And as a Shepherd Neame pub, I went for one of their own. Like a champ, go for gold. With Rafael grabbing a Birra Moretti. Now, I know eating's cheating. We grabbed this corner spot and smashed our way through a great selection from Bang Bang Burger. Now, it's not an ad, just a great opportunity to catch up with my Brazilian pal in a great old boozer, smash a ton of delicious food. Remember, not all heroes wear capes.
Buffalo chicken wings. This is going to kill us. This is literally going to kill us.
No, I hope we have some help, no?
Listen, all right, hang on. Look, there's 2 dudes with beards here, right?
That's true.
There's one.
Well, I don't mind. Let's just go for it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
I might just put it here, maybe.
He's wearing white. What a knob. It's never going to work. It's never gonna work.
Look at this.
It's never gonna work. This is gonna be hot. Oh, fuck, it's so hot. It's hot in heat. Like, it's hot. Jeez, it's hot.
It's okay, go on, let's go.
Yeah, you want to go? That's really fucking hot.
That is nice.
I do like buffalo wings, but
Very nice.
that is hot. He's pretty calm about it. I've got some internal conflict going on right now.
Love it. On point.
This reminds me of the All-Star Bar and Grill at the top of, bottom of Upper West Side, top of Hell's Kitchen, hottest wings I ever had. And once I went in there, ordered 12 wings because I thought I'd be a hero. I ate 2, which was a struggle. At the third one, I started to kind of pick the bones out of it and then hide it behind the other 2. I managed to get my way to 6 after asking for a glass of tap water because I felt quite hot because I'd done a lot of walking. And to which point they came back and afterwards when they cleared the plate, when I was done at like 7,
Wow.
they said, you did really well. Most people don't get past 4. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's like napalm for the soul. Beautiful. Yeah, amazing. It's all in my beard. Fuck it. Cheers. What amazing hosts. These guys have been amazing. What amazing hosts.
They are.
You're definitely going to be on the mic, right? You're on the mic.
All right.
Okay, all right. We're going to stand at the front here. I'm going to do the intro.
Okay.
Okay, come in. You recording? Keep it recording. Okay, come in my posse. Come in, Joyce. Come in, Joyce. Come in, Joyce. Come in, Joyce. Okay, we are at the final pub number 12 of the Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Of course, I'm the only one that sounds like I can't actually make the sentence because these 2 reprobates have joined me fairly late on. My good friends, Joyce and Rafael. We've got a famous foodie and a famous fashionista here. And of course, what is a pub crawl if you can't enjoy a pint with friends? And so here we are at the last pub. I'm already rambling. That's what happens when I'm the one that's drinking. We are going to go to the last pub, roll the video. We shot it a little while back, so it might be a little bit out of date. It was definitely raining when we shot that video, I think.
Yeah, it was.
So for now, we're gonna go in, we're gonna get a pint, we'll shoot some footage inside, and I think they might put some food on. See how we get on. Let's go.
What's the biggest thing you've seen in a beer garden? I'll go first.
We're at the Gipsy Moth, which is pub number 12 and the final pub on our Canary Wharf to Greenwich route. Let's go and get a beer.
That's right. This lovely pub overlooks the famous Cutty Sark, which was one of the last tea clippers to be built. But we've no time for that. We've got pubs to go to, named after the small boat in which Sir Francis Chichester sailed single-handedly around the world, and it used to be moored nearby. Inside is a traditional interior with period features as well as contemporary touches. There's clearly a nautical theme throughout the 2 bars, and it leads into a conservatory with a tiled floor that feels like you're in a Victorian greenhouse. I went for something local from the bar and tried the turbo-juiced IPA from Signal Brewery in Croydon. It was a bit wet on the day, but in much nicer weather this beer garden's heaving, with a hut for food and just look at that view. So this is a great place to end the pub crawl. Would you sail the seas in the Cutty Sark?
So we're here at the last pub, which you've already seen the video of, and these guys have put some amazing pizzas on for us. We're going to get some great shots of these guys. It's going to go. Can you look to the camera and say what social media everyone should follow you on? Because you're the foodie.
It's Hey Southeast London for local recommendation in Southeast.
And then the more famous one, that everyone knows you as?
It's Rafael Camargo FT.
Okay. So we're going to smash these pizzas the best we can, and then we're going to wrap it up Jerry Springer style after another pint with a final conclusion as to well, to thank you for following us this far into the YouTube video and the journey from where the fuck we started, Canary Wharf, coming down here to Greenwich. Cutty Sark, let's go, let's eat some pizza.
Yeah.
And we are at the end of the pub crawl, and we've had an amazing day. Sabina's been with me right from the start, filming. We've filmed 12 pubs. We've walked all the way across under the tunnel, which is amazing. What was a highlight for you for the day?
How long the tunnel was.
It was
everything I had imagined. From Island Garden. Yes.
yeah, we walked underneath. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
With everything.
Obviously, none of these guys are mic'd up, so you can't hear anything that any of them are saying, which also makes it even more relevant for the fact that we have managed to make it this far, and I have no idea what I'm talking about at this point. So thank you very much for watching to the end of this YouTube video. If you haven't already bought my book, please buy my book. We've had a great day. I hope you've had a great time watching this, and I think that's about all we need to say. Anything else?
Cheers.
Cheers. It's fine. The first time the sound didn't work. Second time, I'll be way better at what I said. Yeah, way more dramatic. As the sun sets across the city and the famous Cutty Sark, we finish our 12 pints in 12 pubs. And we conclude our Canary Wharf to Greenwich pub crawl, which you can find in my best-selling book, Historic Pub Crawls Through London. Thank you for getting this far, subscribing, liking and commenting and all that kind of stuff. For now, it's time to go home, because I think that's a sensible thing to do.